I'm just going to start by saying there's levels to this. There's levels to every sport. Every sport has an exceptional talent, an exceptional practitioner that just has that edge above everybody else. We're talking about Formula One, 20 of arguably the best drivers in the world going at it. But there is just one driver who has that bit of magic that nobody else has right now. Max Verstappen pulled out magic again, won the Spanish Grand Prix, even though admittedly by himself he said he didn't have the fastest car today, and it was evidently so. By the end of the race, Lando Norris nearly edged him, but yeah, Max just didn't put a foot wrong. He executed the race perfectly, and Lando just had a bad start, and it kind of got away from him there, lost a lot of time behind George. If he had a bad start that only Max passed him, it would have been even better for Lando, because he obviously had the fastest car. He would have pulled that, he would have closed that gap eventually and didn't have to go through all of the hard times that he actually went through just to catch up to Max. So congratulations to Verstappen. He is the best driver, and he really, really deserves the win today. And Lando, just look at Lando's face after the race. The disappointment is evident in his face, and that might be a good thing. You know, it is a good thing in my opinion. That just means that he doesn't want to settle for second. He is in it to win it for sure, and he knows that he has the capabilities and the car to do it. But you have to get through the hurdle of Max Verstappen. So yeah, interesting race. No safety cars, no red flags, not even yellow flags. Just a good old-fashioned Spanish Grand Prix. And this is where skill, strategy, and race pace comes through. And at the start of the race, you have George Russell gaining 3 positions from the start. What a getaway that was. And he got ahead of Hamilton, Norris, and Verstappen. He caught all the slipstream going into turn 1 when Norris and Verstappen were actually side by side and slowing each other down, as Max pointed out in the cool down room. And gave Russell a huge slipstream coming into turn 1. And he got them both. Still, a huge amount of skill involved in this, and courage to actually put it around the outside in that turn. And I think the results were fair at the end. I don't think Lewis, even if he started well, would have finished ahead of P3. I think the pace that he has was for P3, because even if he got a good start behind Norris and Max and went into turn 1 safely, everything, that gap towards the end, it was around 17 seconds gap to Max. Okay, so around 15 seconds to Norris, and that 15 seconds and not that much amount of laps. So yeah, McLaren had an amazing pace, and Red Bull were just a bit ahead of Mercedes as well. So yeah, good race, technically, strategically a good race. And for a lot of people, they might consider this a boring race, but I like the technical aspect of Formula One as well, the strategy that plays out to it, undercutting, just to gain any bit of advantage. And you might get it wrong, like George got it wrong at the end, putting the hard tires. It was obvious the hard tires were not working at all, and that's what gave Lewis the opportunity to pit in and put on the softs. Having the data by Russell pitting earlier, they have the data to show that no, actually we can change our mind and give Hamilton the softs. And it played out very well for him. Ferrari, I think, will be disappointed with today's results. They didn't really have the pace of the cars in front. Not of Mercedes, not of McLaren and Red Bull. They were just kind of in their own pace, with Leclerc finishing 5th and Carlos finishing 6th. At the beginning, Carlos got the jump and he was fighting with his teammates. I think that lost them a bit of time, but not really that much because they weren't even close enough to the Mercedes. I don't think so. They would have passed the Mercedes. So I think the results were fair. Max got the better of Norris. He didn't have the car to beat Norris, but he got the better of him by executing that overtake perfectly on George Russell when JP told him, "This is your only chance, go for it." You don't have to tell Max twice. He is definitely going to go for that overtake right there and then. And he did perfect overtake it was. So yeah, huge congratulations to Max and Red Bull. He is pulling further and further away in the championship with 69 points now separates him and Lando Norris, who overtook Charles Leclerc to second place. He is in 150. Max Verstappen is in 219, so 69 points between them. Then Charles Leclerc is a close third with 148. Then you have Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez. Oh my God. I just think I'm going to finish my words by talking about Perez every single weekend. We're just going to say the exact same thing next week in the Red Bull ring. And we're going to say the same thing in Silverstone. I just think this guy has he doesn't belong in that seat. I genuinely think he doesn't belong in that seat. And then the McLaren of Oscar Piastri with 87 points, big gap between him and his teammate as well. And George Russell in 7th with Lewis Hamilton in 8th. And Mercedes definitely are back and are in the fight, not necessarily for first place. I think Barcelona kind of shows you the gap between the cars perfectly. They show you the pace. If you're good at Barcelona, you're good everywhere. Not necessarily if you don't perform there that well. So it doesn't mean that Ferrari's season is over. It just means that you're on the right path in development. And they definitely are in the right path. And they can just push on from here and they will be closer to McLaren and Red Bull. So in the next 2 races in Austria and in Silverstone, they should be quick as well. It's going to be the same fight, I guess. My guess is it's going to be the same fight. Maybe Ferrari are included in it as well. So guys, that was my reaction to the Spanish Grand Prix. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share to your friends this channel. It will really help out. And we'll see you in the next weekend after the Austrian Grand Prix.